Hello everyone and welcome to this Video Some Frontier video. My name is Jay Wakefield. Now recently I did a video, some of you will remember, on upgrading Windows 98 2nd edition to Windows Millennium Edition. Now that actually attracted a few comments, one of which was the following. Someone, now I can't remember who it was, but someone has a gateway system. I nearly said Gateway 2000 then, but no matter. Someone has a gateway system that they have factory restored. Now they would like to keep the factory restore, which is completely understandable. I mean, I use the factory restore image on my Compact Presario 2240. I use a Packard Bell image on my Packard Bell gateway image on the Gateway 2000 Solo 2300, and so on and so forth. And as I find restore media for other machines that I have on eBay, I buy them. Anyway, the only problem with this guy's Gateway 2000, damn it, I actually did say Gateway 2000. The only problem with this gateway image is the operating system it comes with is Windows 98 1st edition. Now, while some of you will actually have a soft spot for Windows 98 1st edition, others kind of realise that it wasn't the most stable release of Windows ever. And as such, this person actually said to me, Jay, I have a Windows 98 2nd edition CD-ROM, but it's the full version, so I can't upgrade to it. Can you, well, how would I go about this? So I thought, well, I'll make a video. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to actually take this Windows 98 1st edition virtual machine that I've made. We're going to upgrade it to Windows 98 2nd edition. Again, we're actually going to be using a full Windows 98 2nd edition CD-ROM. First of all, let's just kind of show you around this system. There's no sound on here. There's not even a sound card installed. I decided to omit that because when I tried doing this video before, it didn't necessarily work too well in VMware. The sound drivers for Windows 98 1st edition that I could get a hold of weren't that good, and it just kind of caused me loads of problems when upgrading to Windows 98 2nd edition. I just couldn't do it. Anyway, hopefully this time it will actually take. Now normally if I'm upgrading an operating system, I usually like to format the I usually like to back everything up, format the hard drive, and clean install this operating system. To avoid problems like what I had when I first attempted to do this video. An attempt which you guys will never see, sadly, because I just kind of got mad and deleted the footage I had. Anyway, but because this is, a matter of a software restore image, understandably the person actually wants to kind of preserve that while having the advantages of Windows 98 2nd edition, of which there are quite a few. Not least is, enhanced stability, but there's also, you also get to enjoy things. I'm trying to think now, I'm having difficulty. You also actually get to enjoy better USB support. Internet Explorer 5.0 comes with Windows 98 2nd edition, and it supports a few things. I can't remember what exactly it supports, but there are a few things that do require Windows 98 2nd Edition to run and will not work under Windows 98 1st Edition. Oh, and while I think on, Windows 98 2nd Edition has much better Windows driver model support. And yeah, talking of drivers, if you are going to follow this video and you have drivers, if you can get Windows 98 2nd Edition specific drivers for your hardware, get those, because they will actually fit the operating system better than the older VXD drivers used by Windows 95 and 98 1st Edition. While we're on the subject of following this video, please note that I cannot be held responsible for any damage caused to equipment by following this tutorial, or any data lost or what have you. You're doing this completely at your own risk. And with that in mind, back everything up if you can. Now, we can tell this is Windows 98 1st Edition because of the version number 4.10.1998, registered to J. Wakefield Computers, and it thinks it's a Pentium 2 processor with Intel MMX technology. And I've put 64 megs of RAM to this virtual machine. I've also installed a few programs that you might actually have found on a home computer back in the day, namely WorkSuite 99. That's pretty much all I did, was just install that and call it done. So yeah, you've got Microsoft Word, and then you've got Microsoft Works. Excellent. Right, enough of that. First, before we do anything, what I think I will do is I will actually show you what would happen if you try and upgrade Windows 98 to Windows 98 2nd Edition using a full Windows 98 2nd Edition CD rather than an upgrade one. So it starts off promising right enough. It says the CD-ROM contains a newer version of Windows than the one you are presently using. Would you like to upgrade your computer to this new version of Windows 98 now? You click yes. You get Windows 98 setup starting. Congratulations on choosing Windows 98, the software that makes your computer more powerful, reliable, manageable and entertaining. With Windows 98 you can connect to the internet quickly and easily, and Windows 98 is even easier to use than Windows 95. I would actually probably challenge that statement. Windows 98 is as easy to use as 95. I wouldn't necessarily say it's any easier, although the quick launch bar does have its moments, so you can get that in 95. Anyway, let's not get bogged down in semantics, or semantic software. Setup will take from 30 to 60 minutes, depending on the speed of your computer. Setup will now check your system. To proceed, click continue. So it will check drive C. This will take a while because it's doing it under Windows rather than starting Windows 98 setup under DOS. It has this step that you don't see in the DOS version, because the DOS version will fire ScanDisk off before it actually starts setup. And setup actually looks a lot prettier in Windows as well. But again, pretty setup does not a stable operating system make. Anyway, look at this. We have an error message. Your computer already has an operating system installed, which cannot be upgraded by this version of setup. You need to obtain the Windows 98 upgrade. No, we don't. What we need is to make a Windows 98 boot floppy. So grab yourself a blank floppy disk, insert it in the drive now, go to Start, Settings and Control Panel, go to Add or Remove Programs, click on the Startup Disk tab, and then hit Create Disk. You might need your Windows 98 1st Edition CD to hand, or hopefully if it's an OEM install, the Windows 98 install files will be on the hard disk in C:/Windows/Options/cabs. Now when you get this dialog box, insert the disk, click OK, and the disk will be made. It'll be turned into a Windows 98 boot floppy. Now I already have one of those, so I'm just going to click Cancel, cancel out of add or remove programs, and close control panel. Talking of the boot disk, what I'm going to do is, because I've got my boot disk ready made, and once yours is ready made, by the way, I'm going to insert it and shut down and restart the computer. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to start the computer up with CD-ROM support. Now might be a good time to insert your Windows 98 2nd Edition CD. Now, before we go on to try starting setup, if we were to start setup now, just by going to the D drive and typing setup, well, let's try it. As you can see, scan disk will fire off. It'll check drive C. Exit scan disk. Click continue. Everything seems to be in order at the moment, but we've still not got past the point that we got with the setup within Windows. Although we're getting there. Is it going to start? Oh no! We've got the same error message, except this time it kind of looks like a Windows 3.1 dialog. Your computer already has an operating system installed which cannot be upgraded by this version of setup. You need to obtain the Windows 98 upgrade. So Jay, I hear you cry, what on earth are we going to do? How on earth can you tell us that we can actually upgrade a version of Windows to another version of Windows using a full version of that Windows CD? Sorry, that was a bit of a word salad, but well, I'll tell you. The way in which Windows 98 upgrade, the way in which Windows 95, 98 and Millennium upgrade disks work is that they will actually check for the presence of two files, win.com and winver.exe. Now, on an upgrade CD, if they aren't there, then you will be asked to validate your eligibility to upgrade by inserting the CD-ROM or the floppy disks for your previous version of Windows. Now, on the full version of Windows 95, 98 or ME, it actually checks for the presence of win.com and winver.exe, and if they're there, it'll actually say, look, there's already a version of Windows installed here. You're going to need to get the upgrade version. What we need to do is to trick the full CD into thinking that it's clean installing Windows 98. And we can do this quite easily. And again, I can't be held responsible for this. What we're going to do is we're going to rename those files. So I've changed over to the C drive by typing C:, and I'm going to change the directory to Windows. I'm going to rename win.com by typing win.com, and then we're going to name it to win.xxx. What we're also going to do is winver.exe to winver.xxx. So, what we're going to do now is go back to the root directory of C by typing cd/, change over back to the CD-ROM drive, and then go to setup. Now, Windows 98 setup will find that win.com and winver.exe aren't there, and as such it will install, but there are a couple of things that we'll have to watch out for. First of all, it will not treat it as an upgrade install. It'll just kind of treat it as a clean install, but when push comes to shove, it will actually upgrade everything. It won't just be like, oh, here's a clean install of Windows. It will work as an upgrade. So, as you can see, Windows 98 setup has actually decided to continue, but it has detected that there's a Windows directory and has decided to clean install Windows 98 2nd Edition into c:/windows.000. Apart from creating a messy hard drive, that's not going to do anything. It's just going to clean install Windows, and you're just going to have all your junk from your other Windows install on the hard drive. It's not going to work at all. So what we need to do is go to Other Directory, click Next, and then delete the .000 off the end of Windows, to make it C:\Windows. And then if we click Next, it'll just prepare the directory. Now, I don't know why it doesn't tell me that there's already files in there, because it does if I just kind of put the Windows 98 setup files in Windows Options caps. You'll know that from some of my other videos. I don't know why it doesn't just do that. Now it's going to ask me for my network info. And as you can see, some parts it's actually treating it as an upgrade, and some parts it isn't. For example, it's not asked us if we wish to save the Windows 98 files. It's, you know, if we want to go back to the previous version. But similarly, it's not asked us which accessories or what have you we wish to install. Now it's going to ask if we want to create a startup disk. You can if you want. I'm going to choose no. Remove the disk and then click OK to continue setup. Oh, okay. Start copying files. The Windows 98 setup wizard now has enough information to start copying Windows 98 files on your computer or to your computer. If you want to review any or change any settings, click back. To start copying the Windows 98 files, click next. Now this will take quite a while, so I think you all know what I'm gonna say at this point. Yep, you guessed it correctly. Why don't you go and put the kettle on? Make yourself a cup of tea. In fact, make another. Seriously. Because this can take a while. I mean, don't start preparing dinner or anything. It doesn't take that long unless you're really installing it on a 66 megahertz 486, in which case you can go out to a Kaylee, stay there till 4 in the morning, and then come back and it'll still be working away. But for most Windows 98 class machines, you know, have a cup of tea, you know, have a Tunnix tea cake, and it'll be ready to kind of move on to the next part of setup. Okay, so now we're getting towards the end of, well, we're at the end of the first part of setup. Setup needs to restart your computer to continue. Your computer will automatically restart in 15 seconds or when you click restart now. So I'll just write it out. And as you can see, Windows 98 is starting. Sorry, it's cut off the edge of it. Oh, Windows 98, getting ready to run Windows for the first time. Exciting. And this is what you get. So now you actually have to type in your name, your company. So accept the license agreement, put your product key, and start wizard. Windows 98 saved all information. Click finish to continue starting Windows 98. So what will happen now is Windows 98 will actually set up any plug-and-play devices it finds, initialize the driver database, that sort of thing. And it will also scan for any non-plug-and-play devices that you have, I believe. And once it's done that, it'll restart itself again. Windows is now detecting non-plug-and-play hardware in your computer. Caution, this may take a few minutes and may cause your computer to stop responding. If the progress indicator stops for a long time and there is no disk activity, please restart your computer. So like I said, what this will do is just kind of try for any plug and play or any non-plug and play devices, any devices at all that are in or are connected to your computer. Windows 98 setup will try and pick them up. However, the drivers that I installed in Windows 98 First Edition should still work. Obviously, if there's any better drivers that come with Windows 98 Second Edition, those I'm imagining would be used instead. So, I mean, this, like I said, I mean, this will also take a while. It's running quite quickly on here because it's a virtual machine. But, you know, on a real machine, this can actually take quite some time. Of course, Windows 98 was very legacy friendly, so you know, there's a chance that, you know, on a computer from back in the day, it would have had non-plug and play devices. Once again, setup needs to restart your computer to continue. Your computer will automatically restart in 15 seconds or when you click restart now. So we're a way to ride it out. So we're going to be going into setup for what should be now the last time. Now, unlike the Windows ME setup, we won't be greeted with full colour in this phase of setup. I do believe it will just be VGA and what have you, you know, no sound or anything like that. So again, Windows 98 is now setting up any hardware plug-and-play device. Windows 98 is now setting up your hardware and any plug-and-play devices you may have. Now what will happen here is it will set up the control panel, and see, what seems to have happened there is the control panel did not set itself up. And well, this can be quite symptomatic of, you know, upgrading, and not just because I'm doing a bit of a cheat sheet way of getting an upgrade out of a full install CD. What this is sometimes it just does not pay really to upgrade, you know. Sometimes it is better to do a clean install. Now, again, I can completely understand why a clean install isn't necessarily the most viable way to go. But you know, factory install image aside, a clean install would be my preferred way of going from one operating system to the other. And even if you have an upgrade copy, you can still actually perform a clean install. Like I said at the beginning of the video, all that will actually happen is you'll be asked for, you know, any eligible Windows installation media. So for example, for Windows 98, you'd be asked for either, you know, to insert each disk of your Windows 3.1 installation set in turn, or to insert your Windows 95 CD to validate the upgrade. That's all it would do. Just like, oh yes, there's a Windows 95 disk. This upgrade is valid, and then it'll just basically let you install it. You know, like an upgrade. It would basically just let you install it like a full install of Windows. So I mean, I would always, you know, I would always choose a full install over an upgrade, unless I want to preserve a factory image, but at the same time use a newer version of Windows. Okay, so what we've found here is that we've actually gone into Windows 98 again. VMware Tools is acting a bit odd. Of course, I'm doing this in VMware. Calendar error. Calendar can't find one or more files needed to run. So as you can see, some of the programs don't always run. This can be sorted by reinstalling the programs. That is perfectly doable. Microsoft works. Let's see if it goes. Yep, I believe it still works. I installed a printer driver in Windows 98 for a Lexmark. Just so Microsoft Works would run without asking for a printer. Now, here's where the problem is. Because Control Panel couldn't set itself up, it will not work. So, as a result, this version of Windows 98 is pretty much unusable. And I don't know if I try and install Windows 98 Second Edition over the top of itself, which you can actually do in Windows, even if it is a full copy. But yeah, it's just not working as it should. So I mean that is something that does concern me quite a bit. And I believe last time I tried setting up TweakUI, because in the past, installing TweakUI has actually forced Windows to kind of go through some of its steps, but alas, I don't believe it worked. So, in fact, let's try that. Let's kind of drag the files for TweakUI over, shall we? So it turns out that actually I need to reinstall VMware Tools. So that's whoops. That's what I'll do now. I mean, I'm having real difficulties with the mouse pointer integration. So what we're going to do is, we can't actually do it. However, I actually do know of a cheat sheet way to make this work. Check this out. Oh, jinx. First of all, I think we're going to go into safe mode and try do it there. Oh, maybe not. Oh, look. Scan disk! I want to get some lovely central heating. Oh, come on, you. So, just so we know, you probably don't have to do any of this with your system. So what I'm going to do is control panel items actually, they are actually CPL files. So what I can do, I can go to find all files and folders. So, yep, just start, find files or folders. And then I want to find any CPL file. So I'm going to use the start wildcard.cpl. So that's, I've basically told it to search for anything that ends in .cpl. I'm going to find, and there we have it. We found all of the CPL files. Now these aren't actually called what they're called in the control panel, so you kind of have to take a guess. So upwards, I think that's what I'm looking for. Yes, I am. And, oh dear, there's nothing in here. Probably because it's not been initialized. But, I mean, I have installed programs on here. So let's try installing VMware additions. Let's reinstall VMware tools. Let's do that using its own installer wizard. See, it's not actually letting me do that. So this install is pretty bananaed. Where did that come from? Oh well. Let's try doing it in safe mode. It's probably not going to work, but oh well. You know what? It's worth a punt. And as you can see, you know, Control Panel has caused Windows Explorer to basically not want to do anything, really. It's so this is really quite trying. However, when this does work, it works pretty well. So what I'm going to say is this. I'm really sorry I couldn't show you everything working as it should do as a you know, Windows 98 FE to SE upgrade. This can be done, and in fact Microsoft, when they brought out Windows 98 Second Edition, they did actually bring out a step up pack that you could get that would allow you to upgrade 98 to 98 Second Edition, and that's basically you know, that's basically what that was for. It just basically would upgrade. It'd just basically be an upgrade copy of 98 Second Edition, literally for 98. But it's a bit of a shame, really, that it's not actually worked. That the upgrade's not actually worked on here, because yeah. But Windows 98 Second Edition is installed, and we can check by going to System Properties, right click on my computer, select Properties. So you'll do that again. Right click on my computer, select Properties, and Windows 98 Second Edition 4.10.2222A. And so there you have it. Anyway, look, really sorry that it didn't work as planned, but I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please feel free to subscribe, and yeah, like my Facebook page, and like Videos on Frontier on Facebook, and read my website, my blog. The URLs for all of that stuff will follow. But thank you for watching this video, and please join me for my next one.